Hari Om and Namaste. I welcome all the viewers on this national webinar series Yoga Ramayana Vishwakosha History. I take this opportunity to re-welcome Professor M.K. Sridhar sir, a great eminent scholar and currently serving as registrar at S. Vyasa University. In today's lecture, he would be describing about the city Ayodhya and Dasharatha as the ideal king of the state Ayodhya.
कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्. Namaste, friends. In the previous session, we learnt about the description of the Ayodhya as elaborated in the Balakanda, or the first section of the Ramayana, authored by the primordial poet Maharshi Valmiki. In this session, let us know about the characteristics, the daring acts and the valor of Dasharatha, who ruled over the Ayodhya capital, which was a part of the Kosala kingdom in those days, and also how the citizens of Ayodhya were there at the time, almost 4500 to 6500 years BCE. Maharshi Valmiki elaborates in the 6th canto of the Balakanda of the Ramayana thus. He describes Dasharatha. Ikshvakunam athirato yajva dharmarato vashi maharshikalpo rajarshihi trishu lokeshu vishrutaha. So, Dasharatha was a great Athirata, or a great intrepid warrior among the kings of the Ikshvaku race, the solar race, who ruled the Ayodhya city and administered the entire kingdom. He was always engaged and engrossed in doing the sacrifices or yagnas and yagas, and propitiating the gods and the goddesses and getting boons from them. He was engaged in doing the acts of righteousness, and all his senses were under control. He was a Rajarshi, a royal sage. He was a sage as well as a king. Such a person is called Rajarshi. For example, Vishwamitra was a Rajarshi. Dushyanta of the Abhignana Shakuntala drama, elaborated by Kalidasa, was a Rajarshi. Like that, we had many Rajarshis who were like sages in their character, in their nature, but at the same time they were kings, administered the kingdom so well. Such kings were called as philosopher kings by Plato in the Philosopher, in his famous book, The Dialogue. So he was a Rajarshi. At the same time, he was a Maharshi, and he was famous and renowned in the three worlds. Balavan nihata mitro mitravan vijitendriyaha dhanaischa sanchayaischaanyaihi shakra vaishravanopamaha. Means Dasharatha had the powerful army which had the chariots, the elephants, the horses and the soldiers, called the Chaturanga Bala. He was capable of checking and controlling the enemies in distance and defeating them. At the same time, he had acquired a large number of good friends, Mitra, because both Mitra Samhita and Prabhu Samhita are very much required. Dasharatha had a powerful army consisting of 4 departments or 4 platoons: horses, elephants, chariots and soldiers. The horses and the elephant had again soldiers, so that way in those days it was called Chaturanga Bala. And he was capable of defeating and conquering the formidable enemies because he himself was an Athirata. Athirata had the capacity to fight simultaneously with 10,000 Maharathas who come in the chariots. At the same time, Dasharatha, had acquired a number of soldiers, a number of people, good people, who could give him wonderful counseling in the moments of crisis. And he had established supremacy over his sense organs. And he was like Manu, who belonged to the Ikshvaku race, who ruled the Ayodhya city, who created the Ayodhya city, ruled for a long time. And it was protected by the people. Yata manur mahateja lokasya parirakshita tatha dasharato raja vasan jagadapalayat. So, just as Manu Chakravarti ruled the kingdom and administered the citizens of Ayodhya and the Kosala and the country, in the same way Dasharatha was administering the kingdom so well. He was always stuck to the guns of righteousness and economic prosperity, artha, and checking and pursuing kama or desire in the framework of dharma. So that way he was very well established and was practicing Trivarga, dharma, artha, kama, systematically very well. Elaborate about this Trivarga as enunciated in the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, Manu Dharma Shastra, our former Justice and Rajya Sabha member Dr. M. Rama Joyce has elaborately written about this in the book called Trivarga. Palita sa puri shrestha Indrena iva Amaravati. This Ayodhya city was ruled by Dasharatha in an efficient way, just as Indra ruled the Amaravati, which is the heavenly kingdom of the gods and the goddesses. And he was always engaged in doing righteous act. That way he was known across the length and breadth of India and the world. Bahushrutaha, the word used is Bahushrutaha. Narastushtaha dhanaihi swaihi alubdas satyavadinaha. Now, how were the citizens of Ayodhya at the time when Dasharatha, Manu Chakravarti were ruling at the time? They were fully righteous in their natures, dharmatmas. They were great scholars, vidvamsas, and they stuck to the guns of truth, satya, because truth in its highest sense is absolute Brahman itself. So they were practicing the truth. Na alubdaha satyavadinaha. They never aspired for the wealth of others. They worked very hard, earned their bread in a righteous way and enjoyed that money in a saneful, rightful way, as told by Shankaracharya in the Bhajagovinda Stotram. It is said that systematically they earned the money and enjoyed their wealth. Tena vinodena chittam. So that way, Nalpa sanchaya kaschid asit tasmin purottame kutumbiyo hyasiddharto agavashva dhanadhanyavan. So the entire Ayodhya city was full of bountiful crops, bountiful treasury, and full of domesticated animals, and especially cows and bulls were nurtured for milk and milk products. Kamivana kadaryovan rishamsa purushak kvachit drashtum shakyam navidvan nachanastikaha. See, this is very, very important. Every house had a grihastha, means a householder, and the householders were not pecunious in nature, and they were extremely rich in nature. There was no aspiring for money, because they worked very hard and earned the money, and they spent that money happily. Yallabhase, Shankaracharya says, Yallabhase nija karmo pattam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Whatever you earn the money by your hard efforts, you have right to enjoy that money in a proper way. Like that, the Ayodhya citizens earned the money righteously, honestly, and they spent in a righteous way. And they never aspired for others' wealth. They worked hard and earned the money. And in that country there was no passionate or lecherous fellows. There were not miserly fellows, no cruel people. And that means there was no crime, nobody without knowledge, and there were no atheists. All the people, even after searching house after house, as told by Valmiki, in Ayodhya city, one could not get an atheist, a cruel fellow, a dunce, a passionate or a lecherous fellow. This is the real concept of the Ramarajya. All the women, sarve narascha naryascha dharmashila susamyutaha, all the men and women of the Ayodhya city were engaged in doing righteous acts and had established supremacy and control over their five sensorial organs, always happy in doing righteous act, and they were doing good acts and were happy and joyful at the same time with pure heart. Because there is a famous statement in Sanskrit, Santosham janayet prajnaha tadeveshwara pujanam. Educated people, intelligent people should always generate happiness for others and see that others are very happy. That's how we find the citizens of Ayodhya engaged and engrossed in such wonderful activities. And at the same time, they were very handsome. Men were handsome, tall and handsome. Women were beautiful, ravishingly beautiful in nature, and they adorned their body with various types of gold and other type of ornaments studded with gems. Na kundali, namakuti, nasragvi, nalpa bhogavan, namrushto, nanuliptango, nasugandhascha vidyate. We could see every, all men and women were displaying earlocks, earrings, and they had crest jewel on their head. They had garlands, made out of diamond, made out of gold, silver, and other sorts of garlands were worn around their neck. And with all that, they never aspired for others' wealth. Everybody was taking bath every day. This is very, very important. They were taking bath every day and also wearing clean clothes. See, that is very, very important. Nahasta bharanovapi drushyate napyanatmavan. And they were decorating with various types of sandal paste and other unguents. Nana hitagni naryajva nakshudro va nataskaraha. Kaschid asid ayodhyaya nachavritto nasankaraha. See, it is said that in that city, Ayodhya, we find people engaged in doing Agni Karya, means worshipping the fire 3 times a day. Such were called as the Agnihotris, and they were performing Agnihotra sacrifices at home morning, afternoon and evening, and that was brought to them by generations, Ahit Agni. At the same time, everybody was engaged in performing yajna or yaga every day. There were no people of narrow-mindedness, and all of them were broad-minded in nature. There was not even a single thief and engaging in the transgression of the caste. The Brahmins who were residing in Ayodhya were always engaged in doing their own systematic anushtanas. They had established supremacy over their sense organs, engaging in giving charity and self-study as elaborated in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Swadhyaya and Pravachanacha. Swadhyaya Pravachanacha, engaging in own studies and also in deliberating what they had learned and disseminating them for the next generation. So, that way we find Swakarma Nirata Nityam Brahmana Vichitendriyaha Dana Dhyena Shilascha Samyatascha Pratigrahe. So at the same time we find the scholars were specialized in the 4 Vedas and the 6 limbs of the Vedas such as Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirukta, Jyotisha and Kalpa. These 6 limbs of the Vedas called the Shadangas are very much required to learn the Vedas. Shiksha is science of phonetics. Vyakarana is grammar. Chandas is prosody. Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Chandaha. Nirukta is etymology of a word. Jyotisha is astronomy, the Vedic astronomy. And then Kalpa, rituals. So all these 6 limbs of the Vedas had been studied by the Brahmins and other scholars so that they could easily understand the Veda, interpret the Veda with all its coded meanings. Nashadanga vidatrasti navrato na asahasradaha nadina kshipta chittova vyatito vapi kaschana. So we should see that people were doing charity in thousands. Thousands of gold coins, silver coins were given in way of charity by Brahmins and others and businessmen and tradesmen to the people who were in need. And they were not having ahankara or egoism at the time of donating this charity. So each of them were without any worries, and that way they were firm in their mind. Varneshvagrya chaturtheshu deva athiti pujakaha kritagnyascha vadanyascha shura vikrama sanyutaha. We could see that these people were full of gratitude, and because that is the greatest thing one has, and they engaged in such activity of charity all the time. They were at the same time very heroic in nature, very bold and courageous, who could fight with animals, deadly mammals such as the lions, the tigers, the leopards, the wild boars and others with the help of weapons and with their own arms. That was the power of the Kshatriyas who were living at the time. So that way Dirghayusho narasarve dharmam satyacha samshritaha sahita putra pautraischa nityam stribhihi purottame. The citizens of Ayodhya lived comfortably and happily for 100 years as elaborated in the Yajurveda. Nandama sharadashatam jivema sharadashatam modama sharadashatam prabhruvama sharadashatam. Let us live for 100 autumnal seasons. Let us be rejoiceful for 100 autumnal seasons. In that manner they lived, and happily, joyfully they lived with their wives, sons, daughters, grandsons and granddaughters, and had a longevity of their life. So this was the greatest power this Ayodhya had, and Ayodhya had very powerful elephants who could engage in fights, very bold and courageous elephants which were born in Vindhya mountains and in the tableland of the Himalaya. And there were 4 categories such as Airavata, Pundarika, Anjana, Vamana, and there are other tuskers like Bhadra, Mandra, Mruga. All these were full strong, and they were protecting the Ayodhya city. Therefore Ayodhya city had the name Satyanagara. Sayojane cha dve bhuya Satyanama prakashate. This Ayodhya city, which had been created in the form of the cloth of the dice with 4 extension with a center square which could be seen in from 24 miles away. There lived Dasharatha, ruled the kingdom like Indra who ruled the Amaravati. Shashasa vai Shakrasamo Mahipatihi. Just as Indra ruled the Amaravati city, the kingdom of the heaven, in the same way Dasharatha ruled this Ayodhya, which had highly extraordinary citizens. This is how Valmiki gave us a picture of the ideal citizens, the ideal people of any city for that matter, then as of now. Namaste.
Thank you, Sridharji, for your wonderful depiction about Ayodhya and the King Lord Dasharatha. Tomorrow we'll come up with another new session. Namaste.